Everybody, welcome back to the Spurs 9501 podcast. It's a bit day late. Sorry about that, but we were busy yesterday. But we just want to do a quick video for you to give you our thoughts on the appalling performance yesterday against Crystal Palace. I'm sure Cam's got a lot to say about that, but we did mention that let's not hope too much after the win against West Ham. And also news today that I'm going to get Cam's thoughts on now that Man United has sacked Eric Ten Hag. But firstly, the Tottenham match, Cam. Did you expect this after the good win against West Ham? Did you expect that we put in a bummer of a performance like this?
I did absolutely expected it. Yes, I was no. This is the thing now that I wanted to say. We say the enthusiasm for Spurs is draining out of me as if someone has slipped my wrist and slowly the blood is leaving my body,
Yeah.
because I find myself actually screaming at the screen saying that Van der Ven should have had a red card, and I'm thinking, what am I doing here? Because the way they play is just bleeding me, bleeding me. There's nothing left. I mean, I don't expect anything else. And the reason I'll tell you why, Ray. Hello, everyone, by the way. The reason why is because of the performance on Thursday. Yes, we won with a dodgy penalty from Richarlison, which now suddenly he thinks makes him a hero. Um, what an awful performance that was against AZ Alkmaar, one of the greatest teams on the planet. But it was, we bored them to death. It's
Yeah.
now this new strategy that we have, the new Handball 2.0, which is we can't beat them any other way. Bore them to death.
But I want to ask you a question, and this comes to the heart of the matter. How can we go? And you've got to admit, we were impressive. All right, West Ham were bad, but even then, we scored 4 goals. We were impressive, although Son wasn't playing today. But why? How can we go from a performance like that to what we did against Crystal Palace? Explain that to me, because I don't understand how that can happen.
Well, I think that West Ham game was an anomaly. I think that the Brighton game is probably more about what Spurs are all about.
Mm.
You've got to remember we were 1-0 down at West Ham. We only got to go back in at the beginning of the second half. West Ham actually came out pretty strong in at the second half, and we did manage to get back into it, and we did beat them. Yes, we did. West Ham imploded rather than Spurs exploded, I would say.
Mm.
They imploded. So my view is really to look at the midweek game. That midweek game was so bad, Ray, that even you were too embarrassed to put anything out on this podcast, because
No.
what could any human being say
Mm.
about that game that was positive or anything else
But
apart from, if you can't sleep at night, please record that game and you'll fall asleep within 10 seconds.
I know I didn't even watch the game because I knew it would be horrible. But wasn't it a second string Tottenham team? But even then, you're saying it wasn't a great performance.
What I'm saying, it was a very lackluster, very slow, very poor performance. You would even suggest and hasten to say that yesterday's team was a second string team. I mean,
Mm.
what is a first string team anymore with Spurs? I mean, one of the things is that it gets me about this is the what Ange has been a master at, and we have
Mhm.
got to give credit for this, Ray, is dampening expectation. Now everyone's too sick of getting rid of the manager, so that's out of the question. Nobody expects to win anything, so that's out of the question. Nobody expects to even beat West Ham. I mean, sorry, Crystal Palace. Now that's not even a big thing. What's Van's response? It is what it is, mate. It is what it is, mate. And we have now come down to the situation where we are actually beginning to accept that this is who we are. There is nothing there. We are a team that is bleeding its fans, bleeding them dry. I have no enthusiasm anymore. You have seen me enthusiastic or me passionate before. He's knocked the passion out of us. This is what he's done. And if you look at his face, it's passionless. It's he's almost half dead himself. He's passionless, and he's knocking it out of this team with his Aussie style, which is I don't, which I just don't get it. 'Cause, from because my point is, most Aussies are really passionate about their sports. They've got this thing with that
Mm.
winning mentality. If you look at them at cricket, look at
Yep.
them at swimming, look at them at whatever they play, even when they were playing the Socceroos out there at the World Cup,
Yep.
they push beyond their weight.
Yep.
We've got
Agreed.
the one Aussie who don't care about winning. Well, he can't do it in the Premier League because it's just not good enough.
Not good enough. Not good enough at all. But the thing is, you see, he's lost nearly half his game, 4 defeats out of 9.
Hmm.
The irony of it is that your mate Nuno Espirito Santo is actually above him in the league. Nuno's fifth. I don't know what even we are at the 10th, 11th, whatever. Nuno
That says
got
everything,
Nun,
doesn't it?
didn't Nuno get fired for doing worse than not as bad as this? Nuno got fired. So what is
You
Daniel
know,
Levy waiting for? Why is he not pulling the trigger?
because the embarrassment factor is probably the biggest thing. Firstly, you put somebody down like Ange in there, and he came with such a fanfare. I mean, there's no such thing as Nuno ball. There's no such thing as Conte ball. But suddenly there's a thing such as Ange ball, whatever the
Yeah.
hell that means. Because all Ange ball means to me is losing games, and they will spin the stats because they're going to say, we won 7 out of the last 8 games. Believe it or not, I
Have
don't know
we?
how.
But
Apparently, but
let's.
how? Because we lost to. But look at the games that we have won, because you just hit the nail on the head there. 9 Premier League games, 1 draw, 4 losses, 4 wins.
But
What does that?
how many games have we won away from home in the league? We won
No,
not many.
no, not many. I think there's like we beat Manchester United. I
That's
think
yeah.
we
That's
won
because
one
they're
more.
really bad. They're so bad they sacked the manager.
Yes.
So that's not. That's another outlier, like you say. What is the way forward for us then in this? I think I mean,
I think it's. I
tell us
think
about the performance yesterday. What was so bad about it? I mean, tell us. I
so. The
mean, we all know, but
performance
tell us anyway.
yesterday, in my view, was we had Brennan Johnson had one shot that hit the woodwork.
Yeah,
Even he didn't know about it. That was a fluke. Okay,
yeah.
fair. Madison had a really good strike, which their goalkeeper Henderson saved and probably got the man of the match. Did really well. But they tore us apart. I thought midfield, we had nobody there. He put Mikey Moore on. He put Basuma on his own. Basuma was running ragged like a lunatic. They just ran past us. That whole area was dominated by Palace. And I mean, as I said, we let them control the game. We must stop teams from controlling the game. We should control the game. They should run to our tune, not us running to their tune. Well, buddy, believe it or not, you pick the team. You picked the team. You picked a team that basically Palace ran circles around. This is a team, remember, this is what we say about Spursy. Yeah, the one team that hasn't been able to win a match all season, whose manager was probably more under threat than Eric Ten Hag, right? Who did he need to turn his season
Dr.
around?
Tottenham.
Yeah, there you go.
You needed Dr. Tottenham. But let me ask you, normally teams when they come out for the second half, they improve, but I don't know if we're something different there. We get worse, don't we? I think the
They
second half
did
was even
improve,
worse.
but you're talking about the wrong team.
Yeah.
I mean, Palace could have walked that one about 4-0.
Yeah, they should have won it 3 or 4
They
nil, I
could have.
think.
I,
Yeah.
I mean, we need to talk about some of the luck that we had. They could have
Well,
had a penalty.
yeah, that would look. What about? I don't think that was a red card for Van der Ven. I
Why
think
was
it was
that? If Saliba's was a red card,
no,
why
but
was
he's
this not a red
this is
card?
going away from goal. It
He was
wasn't
still
going.
going on towards goal. It was what, slightly at an angle. He was going towards goal. It wouldn't take one little touch of the ball to put him right on track.
Anyway,
Uh,
it's a grey area there. So that was thing. What else did you think we got
I
lucky
think
with
if that had
yesterday?
gone against us, we would be standing, sitting here, saying how dumb we were.
Mm.
And I think the main important thing for us is we really need to be able to be honest and say, look, this team did not deserve it. I can't sit here and say we were hard. Look, I don't I understand we lose. Everyone understands that teams lose, right? We could sit here and talk about tactics and the manager got the tactics wrong and whatever. But yesterday, the worst team in the Premier League were the better team
Mm.
and they deserve to win. There was just nothing in that performance which would say to you, yeah, we could have done this or we could have done that. That was, and I have read many people say, the worst 90 minutes this season that Spurs have
We say
played.
that all the time. We said that when
Exactly.
yeah against
Exactly.
Brighton
We'll
was the
say it the
worst we've
next
been.
game because every game we
It's
get
going to be
worse
the
and
next one.
worse
Yeah,
and worse.
yeah. And what about up front? We've got 60 million pound players, 120 million pounds worth of talent up front, and they couldn't score against the bottom four team in the Premier League. What does that tell you?
That tells you that, and this comes back to Ange, he didn't sign Richarlison, but he kept
He
Richarlison.
kept Richarlison, didn't he?
Richarlison. He did spend 65 million on Solanke. Excuse me, when he could have probably had his pick of most Premier League strikers out there. Palmer, Chelsea cost 40 million.
Mm.
Right? Look at some of the other players that are out there. Even Mateta was better than them. Eze was better than
He didn't
any
want Eze apparently. He could have got
any
Eze. He could have spent 60 million on Eze, couldn't he?
any of those players at the front in Palace, any of the players at most teams, every team I would suggest in the Premier League is better than the Tottenham front two. And the reason why I say that, and you'll say that, oh, but Tottenham have scored all these goals. How many of them been scored by the front two?
Yeah.
If it hadn't been for Son, if it hasn't been for Madison, it hasn't been for our midfield chipping in, excuse me, Pedro Porro chipping in, who's getting all the goals? Because I mean, I'm going to be sick and tired of saying this, but Solanke is not a 6.5 million pound player, let alone a 65 million
Yeah.
pound player. And this is Tottenham through and through, and this is all on Ange. And the quicker Ange goes, the happier you will be and I will be, and we can get on with trying to turn this
We
team
can get
around.
Eric Ten Hag now. He's a free. So let me let's finish him. Give me your thoughts on Eric Ten Hag sacking. Do you think it was just even inevitable?
Well, I mean, it shows two things here. One is you can be at Tottenham for as long as you want, never win a trophy, never win anything else, and eventually one day they'll sack you. But at Man United, which teams of aspirations or whatever, yeah, they've had a bad start to the season. Last season they won the FA Cup. He's won two cups, I believe,
Yep.
right? And if Ange had won you the FA Cup last season, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Do you know
Mm,
why? Because finally we'd have a decent trophy in our back pocket.
mm.
And it shows about the aspirations of different clubs that Ten Hag is not good enough for Man United, having won the FA Cup last season. This week we play Manchester City, and again their second team was better than our first team, and chances of winning a cup this season with Ange in his number second season, and the way that we're playing now. Look at his body language. I'm going back to Ange, but look at his body language, right? Ten
Yeah.
Hag, bad manager, Dutch manager. I would have won him at Spurs. Thank God he didn't come here. Is all I'm going to say. But he still won them the FA Cup, and if
Yeah.
he came to us and won us the FA Cup, he'd have been a hero.
Yeah.
Because no one since Juan de Ramos have won us a cup since 2008. So my point is, Ray, very simple point, Ange's body language.
But
He
it's
look,
it's always been the same. Even when
he
we were winning, he was the same, wasn't he?
always looks down. He doesn't seem to say very much. Oh, well, yeah,
Do you think
yeah.
maybe he feels he's out of his depth and he's just winging it?
He's more than winging it, though, isn't he? Because look at the players that he has. So suddenly, Mikey Moore's flavour of the month. What happened to Gray and Bergval?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to persist with youngsters that have got talent or that have got skill. I mean, I've had a problem with Gray every time he's played. He's looked good on the ball. He can hold the ball. He can play different positions, and he's a strong player for the future. If I was going to grow a player by giving him time, it would be Gray. If I'd accept some of his mistakes and put him in,
Mm.
right?
Yep. Yep.
Bergval's very young, but as a runner, somebody coming in when you want to change a game changer, potential game changer, yes, he got us the penalty against the AZ Alkmaar, which was a awful game apart from that. And then you have probably one of the most technically gifted players in the Premier League coming on the 86th minute, which is Bentancur. I mean, are you having a laugh? That's team management. You
Well,
could do
tell
better.
what do you think about Timo Werner coming on?
I mean, I feel bad for Werner. I thought Werner probably had one of the best shots of the game. He tipped the ball across, he put it across. And that says everything. I mean, Werner. What I like about Werner is, to be fair to him, he looks like a superstar compared to Solanke and Richarlison. You got two donkeys there. He puts good balls in. Are we expecting Werner to score goals? No.
Yeah.
Are we expecting him to make runs, be fast, and put balls in the box?
Yes.
Are we expecting Richarlison and Solanke to finish those balls? No. So what difference does it make?
Mm. So you were okay with Werner? You're happy with Werner?
Okay, but he actually had a good shot saved by
Mm.
the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
To be honest, what
I
did
I must have
Richarlison
missed that one. I didn't see that. I'm sorry.
what did Richarlison and Solanke do? I mean, I mean, he's getting donkier I mean, I said to you, you said give
I
him
told you
time.
it's a curse, isn't it? Good players, and I think Solanke scored 19 goals in the Premier League last year. So whatever you say, he's a proven Premier League striker. He
Oh,
come to Tottenham and they get cursed.
yeah,
That's
he's
got
a
the curse of
proven Premier
Tottenham.
League striker. Couldn't hack it for even half at Liverpool. Couldn't hack it at Chelsea. Could only hack it at
But he's just a
Bournemouth.
late bloomer. He's a late bloomer. He did well at
One
Bournemouth. Scored
good
19 goals
season.
last season.
One good season, right?
That's all you
Yeah.
need.
No Harry Kane, buddy. Yeah,
No,
but
I
that's
didn't
all you
say he was
need.
Harry Kane, but he's
I
not as
will
bad as
say,
people make him out to be. You give him
well,
the
let me say
service and
one
all that,
thing
he'll
to you.
score
Let me
goals.
say one thing to you. And I think this is important. This is the difference between when the way that we play and who we are, right? We like
Mm,
skillful players, we like players who can shoot. Solanke is very good in the box at tap-ins. Most of his goals have been tap-ins. What really shocked me about Solanke
yeah.
is how bad he is as a tall player heading the ball.
Mm,
Ability to get headed goals is worse than Son's, to be
mm,
honest with you.
mm.
But Son's got a hell of a shot on him, and Son can
Yes.
hit.
Why was Son not playing yesterday?
He's injured.
Okay. All right, Cam, listen, we've had enough. Give us some final thoughts on that. Who's our next game? Is it away at Villa or something? I can't even remember
Our
who.
next game is midweek, I believe. I thought it was last time against Manchester
No, I mean the
City.
next league game.
League game is away to is Villa at home, I believe.
Oh, okay, we're gonna lose
And
that
I
then.
might not be around for that race, so you could do
Okay.
something. But you know what?
Yeah.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah.
I watched Villa play yesterday, day before, and they were lucky to win against. They won 1-0.
No, they drew
Uh,
1-1 because Wolves scored in, is it Wolves or
oh
some
no, it wasn't.
Bournemouth scored in the last seconds, I
Bournemouth
think.
scored a
Yeah.
lot. Bournemouth were very, very good, and Villa weren't that good. But Villa need to stay top four. So who do they need to play?
Dr. Tottenham.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There
There's a
you go.
regular. But what do you think of the? I want to close it now. But lastly, what about Andalia Iriola? I can't even say his name. The manager would be good for Tottenham. Iriola.
Hey, Ray, I'd be good for Tottenham.
Yeah, that's true.
I
Okay.
mean, Areola, I think that he's a great manager. I think with a bit of money and with a bit of skills and a bit, I mean, Unai Emery would be
Yeah,
fantastic.
it would have been amazing. He would have been a good
Yeah,
manager. Yeah.
absolutely.
All right, Cam. Well, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. You're not here next week, so we look forward to seeing you the following week for your thing, and I'll probably do one on my own next week. But thank you, Cam, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Thanks.